Hello, may I ask who I'm talking to? What's your name?
My name is Gail.
Okay, Gail. My name is Jasmine Renee Davis. I had called your to Jennifer Bias's office to the Wisconsin State Public Defender's office there today earlier, and are you the Gail that had hung up the phone on me and saying that the call was not productive?
Yeah, that was me.
I do have some questions that I called in particular independent matter, but because you are a public office and I have a right to understand, can you verify how you say that the call was not productive and what changes can be made to make sure that the call can be productive, please?
Sure, of course. You had asked specific questions, and I was asking other questions so that I could help direct your call in order to help you. You had called me a liar and said that I wasn't trying to help you. Um, I'm not going to be called names, but if you want to tell me what I can do to help direct your call so that someone can help you, I'd be happy to direct your call.
Can you tell me what those questions were that you said that I asked you and that you asked to verify, please?
Let's see it. How would you remind me?
No, actually, that's not. No, you just said that you knew what happened. You went through the course of discontinuing the call, put me at a great disadvantage and compromise. And so I'm sure that you know what the call was regarding, right? What's your position there at the Wisconsin State Public Defender's Office?
I'm an executive staff assistant in the administration office. So
So,
my job is to take the calls and direct them to someone who can help you.
and that requires a great amount of what perhaps recollection and information, data,
They've
and
taken a lot of calls today, so my memory might not be what it should be. You
um,
had called last time and asked for files, and I asked you what county your case was in, so I can direct you to the office that can help handle your file request. And you did not want to be directed to a different office.
no,
But I don't have.
actually,
That's
that's
what
not
happened
what I'm
last
going to. No,
time.
this is not.
That's what
This
you
call
called
is
me a
not
liar
about that.
about.
Oh, no. You said that I did you say I specifically said you were a liar? Is that the word you said I use, a liar?
Yes, that's what you said to me this
No,
morning.
I said that you are dishonest,
Okay,
right?
my fault.
And you said that you don't like to be called dishonest. And I laughed and said, "Well, don't be dishonest." Because this is
Yeah, I
what you
didn't
did
appreciate
do.
the laughter.
Oh, bitch, girl, let me tell you something. I'm going to laugh. You don't tell me why don't you want to appreciate the laughter? What does that have to do with you?
Do you need something that I can
Yes, and
help
I'm
with
going to
today?
have this call, Gail, and I'm going to have this call. And you are not going to stop me from doing what I have to do. Because what happened on
Did
that
you want me
call
to
was
transfer you
no,
over
I
to
called
someone
for
who can
to
help
talk to
you?
you, Gail, because I asked you a question and I'm going to verify this and I'm going to make sure I'm successful at everything that I am into, every piece of thing, and it's going to be consistent. And I'm not locked up in jail. I have an open phone way, and I'm going to continue to call as much as ethically that I have to until I get my point across, until I can handle my business without deprivation from you or anyone else. Now, listen, please, because you had made up a scenario on the basis that you were being dishonest. And you said that when I had called to that office last week, okay, you said that I there was a breakdown in communication, right? You said you used a specific word actually. And I said, what does that mean? You said that uh that I did not agree
I
with
think
you.
the word you were looking for was impasse. I used the word
Okay,
impasse.
right, exactly. So you and I told you then I didn't know what that meant, and you said to me that there was that I did not agree with you, and I wondered why did you say that? Because that call had nothing about in particular agreement other than you in particular saying that Jennifer Bias's office, which she is the public defender actually, so it's her responsibility to show up to court anyway, not other people. But you said that their office does not keep any information, that you do not have any knowledge whether or not that you have any representation for me, at all. You could not look up in your office um, whether or not the public defender has any open cases with my name on it. And I know you did. And you said no, you did not. You said that I would have to call the local office. And I said, can you send me that in writing through an email? I told you my email address. You said you would send it, and you never sent it. And that was really the whole call. But before that, I was talking to you, the phone had hung up, right? And you said that it was an accident that the phone hung. Because I was like, did you hang up in my face? And you said no when I had called before I could even accuse you of hanging up on me. But then today when I called, you said that I was mean to you. You said that I was basically being irrational toward you. And you were saying untrue things. And I laughed too. And I also said, that is very typical of you to make up a whole bunch of stuff that sounds like me, Jasmine Renee Davis, that would be believable. But I really did not do that. And I would not accept that from you. Okay? And I knew that you were being dishonest. And I told you that. You were being dishonest. But you are choosing to commit gross misconduct because you chose to still be at work right now, to hang up the phone and not do your very job, to take the call, to be dishonest, and then not back up what you said and explain to me why you chose to just make up something and make it like I was irrational towards you, to make up for you failing to do your job instead of just explaining to me what actually happened. And that is consistent with the culture of all this whole public defender's office, where you all sit there and false advertise, and you sit there, and you know what that is too? It's a violation of professional conduct too. Especially when one of the rules with attorneys and lawyers and even their support staff is when me, if I were ever a client, if you all will report me and say that I was being abusive to you, if I was being, just say, irrational to you or anything like that, you know what that would do? That would excuse you of attorney-client privilege. It would allow you to perform misconduct. It would allow you to neglect my case, neglect me, provide isolation, discrimination, and that is a huge tactic that creates fraudulent behaviors. It's a compromise for the state of Wisconsin, and it breeds conspiracy and organized crime, actually. And you have orchestrated that in a high amount today. And I still try to talk to you and understand that. And I didn't say anything. I don't have to be productive. This is natural, and this is me being real. Okay? You said that you chose to cause an altercation to make up for your neglect to your job. And then even when I had asked for Jennifer Bias's email address, you were like combative toward me. And I tried to get past that and get through that because I had other stuff to talk to you about, and I told you that. You cannot sit here and dictate how much I call, how often, because first of all, you don't know me. You don't know my strategy. If I have several cases, and I'm going to ask you to look up the number of amounts of criminal cases that I've had where the public defender office in Wisconsin have been involved with. So make sure you don't end this call, because I'm not being abusive to you. I've never been abusive to you. But for you to say that key word that I see a lot of you all are using, the unproductive thing, I believe that you are participating in a conspiracy. And the reason why I said that, because you know that I did not say anything that would have caused you to get off the phone. You don't get to choose what I call about. And I have been a defendant in criminal cases, a defendant in juvenile cases. So you don't tell me how my actions are. Oh, incompetency. Chapter 51s. They say that I'm crazy and insane. Mental ill. So you don't get to tell me about how to be myself and discriminate against me. And I didn't say anything abusive to you. Me saying that you're dishonest and you chose to continue to draw some kind of point and present yourself with a lack of integrity, intentional harm to me, by knowing that that is not what happened, and now you get to excuse yourself and put yourself, your own self, at what you call an impasse and try to play dumb, or say that now your memory is not working. That is not fair, because if you choose to work a job, maybe you don't qualify. If you cannot take the number of calls within a day, this is so typical where you all limit me. I have nothing to do with anybody else's calls. I only have something to do with myself. You have, I'm sure, maybe 100,000 cases that could all call you at the same day. And if you all knew that you could not take those cases, you should never try to apply to be a public defender, and you know that you do not qualify. That right there is defraud, that is abuse, that is gross misconduct, that is personal and professional conduct. That is a lot of issues that your human resources office, I'm sure, would be very interested in. Seriously. And I plan to file a complaint and talk to someone in your human resources department. You all have been extremely abusive to me when I was in jail. You refused to send me all my information. You refuse to at times identify yourself. You have chosen to keep information from me and just isolate me and segregate me in times where you were supposed to be my representation. You have participated in that. But when I had first ever talked to you, Gail, I was in Racine County Jail. You had a total different work ethic at that point. You made sure that my records, as much as I didn't get them all, but what I did get, you had sent them. You told me about the Wisconsin State Law Library, and you made sure that I was able to talk to the Wisconsin State Law Library. Now you choose to abuse me. You choose to participate in organized crime and conspiracy to better serve your own agenda, bringing your outside course inside of a public office which belongs to whoever wants it. Okay, understand that. So that's my phone if I want it to be my phone. You an employee of me if I wanted that. But I don't need to claim you or your departments or your offices. But what I am about to do is claim my own life. And you all are not going to continue to take that away from me. It is very suspicious. It adds a high alarming rate of questioning, concern, and doubt when someone is supposed to have been my attorney, but you choose to fight me. There has been many unethical things, even as far as on last Wednesday, calling and talking to, I talked to you about issues, okay? But when I called to the Kenosha, Wisconsin office, Danielle was there and she was highly abusive toward me, and it was a huge disregard, and she was dishonest about some things. You guys are doing so much that I do not understand why. And you all are supposed to be my attorneys. At what point now, what did I do to you to cause you? I don't care, whatever I did. This doesn't have to do with you representing and standing up in a case. This has anything, me getting my information, that's all to be expected. You are never supposed to try to sell me into slavery. You all are never supposed to participate in an open lynching or some kind of public demise of who I am. You all are supposed to be consistent with nothing but the law. And you are breaking that. You said that I was doing things toward you that it never happened. And as you try to recall what happened, you blame me. And for me to call you dishonest and you not ask me why I called you dishonest, for you then to say, oh, I called you a liar, I didn't say that. That would have been too nice, too gentle, too polite. That could mean anything. I was clear to tell you that you had compromised the integrity, and that had scarred the reputation to solidify that from a course of different actions that you have been showing that has becoming more and more strong throughout the course of time within about 2 years. But today kind of like made me know that whatever it is today, I see that you don't mind being dishonest and throwing stones at me and abusing me and putting me further in harm's way, and that is not your position. Now, if you take it to the streets and threaten me, you could be charged with a felony because that's what you did. You threatened me and my nature, and through litigation of appeals and other things that will cause a conflict. Madeline had did it before. Katie York instructed you all to abuse me, to ignore me, to not send me my documentation when I was in Kenosha County Jail, to stop transferring my calls. Anyway, if I call the public defender's office, even from jail, you're supposed to be able to transfer my calls anywhere. I literally heard other people in jail getting their calls transferred through, right in my face. Not that that matters, but that even shows you how much intent that you all have toward me. And I do not appreciate that. But what affects me the greatest is what you did to me today. And then when I try to call you, can you just verify? Isn't that what you said? You told me that I was actually like what, abusive towards you, that I threw a tantrum, that I was inappropriately argumentative toward you. You used that kind of description toward me. You said that I did not appreciate what you were saying, and that I was disputing what you were saying. And that did not happen. You must have found that you have error in your ways, and I don't have to pay for that. I call for a professional thing, something fresh each and every time. I am not coming to you with some messed up ulterior motives. I have a list of things that I have to do. I don't say that, hey, I'm about to call and fuck with the public defender's office today and abuse them and waste their time. I don't need to do that. I know what I want for myself, and I know what I came for, I'm going to get. Why do I have to go through mess constantly over and over again when I call? Can you answer that question?
No, I don't know why.
You are the one who chooses to do it. It's your job and your job description. You should understand that whatever you're doing, you are being told that is what you're hired for. Why would it not be? This is all standard textbook of everything that you...
What were you looking to get done today? You said you had a list of things that you wanted to get done. What can I help you get done today?
You are still refusing to disregard what I'm saying and not have any compassion, and that does violate the reason for a defense attorney anyway whatsoever. It does put things at a great deal of risk and threat to me, where this thing could be more than just politicized. It can cause harm to further problems in litigation, witnessing situations, reports, representation, throwing off the course, anything. You have to understand that your role is very important and significant, and you take that for granted, and you have a high level of office in the state of Wisconsin, whether you believe it or not. And I don't appreciate that you guys are constantly trying to fail me, because you have been dealing in slavery the whole time without my permission. You have had me to accept pleas, and you have made pleas without me, your office, and you know that. You have followed orders that you knew that you shouldn't have did from Katie York and whoever else. And it caused abuse to me when you found that I would never see the light of day again because of you all's going to court, trial. My children were taken from me. You never told me about trial. You never told me about anything through the Chapter 51. You all have been dishonest.